Hello Internet and welcome to ACD Camping, the home of woodland shenanigans on a shoestring budget. I'm ACD and today we shall have a look at not only how to set up a ridgeline with the minimum of fuss, but the cost of a simple initial setup, from the top to the bag that you could be using. But first, a little about tonight's site. I'm currently just off the beaten path on the Pendle Way, somewhere on the edge of Bronte country. I'm roughly 3.5 miles southwest of Bullsworth Hill, one of the most active areas in the country for UFO phenomenon. Approximately 9.5 miles to my northwest is the most historically important area in this location, Pendle Hill, famous for its witch trials. In 1612, 9 women and 2 men were charged with the murders of 10 people by the use of witchcraft. 10 were found guilty, 1 died whilst in custody, and the remaining 1 was found not guilty. To my west, approximately 19 miles, we have Tommerden, the hunting ground of 2 of the world's most prolific serial killers, Dr. Harold Shipman and Peter Sutcliffe. It's also the home to the story of Zygmunt Adamski, who, having gone missing from his home in Tingley in June 1980, was found by a policeman on top of a coal pile, wearing clothes that were not his own, covered in a goo that to this day science cannot identify, and with a look of horror on his face described as seeing something that no man should. Killed by the KGB, abducted by aliens, the theories are endless. Finally, just down the path a ways, just down there, we have Wycoller Hall. Thought to be the inspiration for Ferndean Manor in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, and reputedly haunted by the ghosts of Squire Cunliffe, who, having found his wife in the arms of another, beat her to death with his riding crop, and of Black Bess. No one knows who she is, but she appears by the fireplace, turns towards you, then just disappears, ghosted by a ghost. Now we have the history out of the way, let's talk a little about an initial basic bargain kit. Everything I brought with me today cost a little over £50. You could pay that online for a rucksack alone. That will inevitably fall to bits after a month. The tarp cost me £2.50 from Military Mart, a company based in Ormskirk. Hope they don't mind the mention. I grabbed a few bargains from them in the past, and it's a little free marketing for them. The cordage itself I bought from Boyce's in Nelson and cost £2.99. The work gloves, £1 from Poundland. Back in the days things cost £1. The trowel, £1.50 from Pound Stretcher. The mess kit was £4 from Asda. The food I brought, £2.50 also from Asda. The 38 pattern mug came as part of a kit from Boyce's that cost me £7. A £14 sleeping bag from Lidl. Headlamps and torches a couple of £1 each from various places, and finally the bag I bought was £12 from Matalan. The only thing I haven't scrimped on is a semi-decent, well-stocked first aid kit that was £8 from Aldi. Other bits such as the possible repair kit, literally pence on the pound, only using small sections and lengths of tape, 1 tube from a multi-pack of glue, random offcuts of cordage, etc. The water bottles I'm using tonight, £1 each from Poundland. And the tobacco tin stove, which I'll make a video about later, cost a little over £4 in parts. Now that's the boring maths part out of the way, let's have a look at the ridgeline, shall we? First of all, what exactly is a ridgeline? In camping, it is defined as a length of rope approximately 25 feet in length that is used to connect 2 standing supports so that you can hang a hammock, or such as in this case a tarp, to form a shelter. To make one quickly with a minimum of fuss over what hitches and knots to use, for the time being let's use a Ridgeline Buddy. Now we'll just go over there and we can have a look at these wonderful graphics that I'd created earlier on. Here we have the Ridgeline Buddy. It's a simple stick with a couple of notches cut into it. To make it, first of all you need to find a stick that is approximately the length from your longest finger to your wrist, and the total width should be your thumb or thicker. Once you've found that stick, you need to lay it onto some flat ground and find the centre point. Once you've found that centre point, take your thumb and place it over it so that half your thumb is on one side and half is on the other. Take a pencil or a knife and make a mark on either side of your thumb like that. Take your thumb away and then taking your knife, make a cut approximately a quarter of the way down the width of the stick. Once you've made that cut, take your thumb again and place it next to it. Take your pencil and mark next to your thumb. Take your thumb away and then, wearing gloves and taking slim slivers away at a time, make an angle cut until you meet that initial cut there. It should look like something like that when it's finished. A little bit about knife safety. Bearing in mind you're out camping, you're probably in the middle of nowhere. It may take emergency services quite some time to find and locate you, so take things slow and easy. Slim slivers at a time, and always wear gloves. Once you've completed that angle cut and it meets that initial cut, repeat that process on the other side where that other mark was that you made. Once you've completed that and you hold the stick vertically, it should look something like this. Notches, and yeah. So once you've got that, keep it in your pocket and get out your cordage and follow me. If you haven't already done so, at one end of your cordage tie a simple loop like this. Yeah, take that loop and feed it around a tree. The other end, feed it through that loop and work it all the way over to another tree and wrap it around like that. Yeah, all the way around, and so pull it tight. And once it's quite tight, take your Ridgeline Buddy and hold it vertically so the so the cordage is on the outside of the Ridgeline Buddy. Find that top notch and wrap the cord, the inside cord, around it once. Now place it horizontal. Take that inside cord and make a loop at this end. Feed it through and across and pull tight onto this bottom notch. Pull tight on the rope on this outside cordage until you've got a relatively taut line. Once you've got that taut line, wrap this excess cordage around the gap that has formed between the inside and outside cords. Once you've wrapped it 5 times, tie it off with a simple overhand knot and tidy up the best you can the excess cordage. It's quite taut, this line. Once you've done that, you can bring out your tarp, feed it over, peg it down. These pegs, again, another bargain bin find. A pack of 8 for £8 for a quid at Poundland. Once you've pegged it out, you will have the central grommet still exposed. This is where a prusik loop comes in handy. A prusik loop is essentially a loop of cordage thinner than your main ridge line. You wrap it around and feed it through itself 3 times and you will be left with a long half loop. Take that half loop and feed it through the grommet and then shove a stick through it. Pull that tight and do the same at the other side. Pull that tight and just move up the camera so you can see at this side. So they're pulling away from each other and against each other, and it pulls this tarp tight, essentially. So there you go. That's how to set up a ridgeline with a sorry about the cough, I'm getting a bit dry throat now, all this talking. That's the Ridgeline Buddy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, we've got loads of other things planned, loads of other ideas, and yeah, thanks for watching. This has been ACD Camping. I'm ACD, and I'll see you in the next video.